Okay, why she gonna give me right when I sit down?
I be working on here.
Okay, multitasking.
Yeah.
Okay, how you doing?
All right, you doing okay? We're gonna go in office over there.
Alright, so, this one, you're going to print it in 1, 2,
Okay.
and print, sign, date.
These flies,
Right.
These some big flies.
Ooh,
I'm not used to
country
that.
fly.
Baby, I ain't used to that. I'm trying to tell you, okay? How y'all doing? Okay. So I am the interim manager here until they get y'all a new manager, okay? So I'm doing with 5 things to do.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm trying my best to see what's going on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is this your file folder?
Yes.
All right.
How you know you don't see no name?
Oh, because I put it.
Oh, you did
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
I told
Property
Cindy to
number.
put everything
Property
in
number's
there.
on it.
Oh, okay, yes, yes.
Yeah.
That'll help me out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told her to put it in that folder that was for us. That was all about.
Okay, so whose name is the apartment under?
Me and my daughter.
Together? Who's the head of household?
Me, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me have your last name just a little bit.
Fontenot, Fontenot.
First name is Eliz.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, $6,000. Okay. So talk to me. What's going on?
Well, I guess I can start where it started. That makes sense. The recertification of 2021, October 2021.
I'm gonna have this ledger.
Okay.
You can talk.
Oh, recertification 2021, October. We came in here and it was Sharonda and Priscilla doing our recertification as usual. And got them all the paperwork. At the time, my daughter was working for Sykes Enterprises from home. And she gave them the information at that time. And so we usually would hear about our new rent around December.
Okay.
Right? That's how it's been since
So
we've been
everything
here.
started in 2021.
2021.
Okay.
That recert of 2021.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't see a 2021 research. I see a 2020, and then I see a 2022,
Okay.
and then I see you change units.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happened in 2021,
Okay.
around November, I just had an epiphany that I can't breathe in this apartment, gotta be for some reason. I'd already been telling them and writing all the different heads of housing and everything about the mold in my apartment. I tested it. Me and my daughter tested it. So I let them know that this has to be taken care of because every time I was supposed to get like an inspection, it never happened for the longest time. And I'm writing, so it was always, you gotta put it in writing, Ms. Fontenot. I did all that. I found out after my car was towed from here, I found out the head people over all this stuff and was always sending them CCs on everything. And I felt like it was a retaliation because once they seen that I really do have mold, because I paid a lab, I also had my nasals done and all that to show that I was medically being affected by the mold in my house that they never took care of with a recertification that led to inspections where I brought it to their attention, to the maintenance man. So I never heard anything from this office the entire year of 2022 as far as new rent, payments or nothing. So now something tells me something is off because it's around March. I said, this is weird. Why haven't we heard anything? I called and it was a young lady. It's always different people in here. It was a young lady, younger black female, not Priscilla, but not Priscilla, and she said, Ms. Fontenot, are you paying rent?
I'm listening to you. I'm multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think I'm being rude.
No, I understand.
Okay.
So I let my daughter know, I say, I feel like I heard her typing on the computer as if she opened up my file. And when she asked me, are you paying rent, means she must see something. But she didn't disclose
Who
what
asked
she
you
saw.
that?
I don't know who this young lady, her name is on one of my
Hey, I need
paperwork.
to come to the office. My door is closed. Just knock on it and come on in, okay? Thank you.
Her name is on one of my paperwork as somebody. Okay, let me show you who she is. And my daughter probably had this file. She's a young lady that came to my house to give me the paperwork about moving into another unit. Her name is
somebody that worked here.
No,
that
she
don't work here.
she
That
not
don't
working
work
my
here
mom.
now. Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm with you.
And so when she handed me that, that's when I was like, so y'all gonna talk to me about the mold now finally, but how come we ain't heard nothing about our rent?
Okay.
Around February 2022, my daughter has since lost the job with Sykes Enterprises, and there's actually an official lawsuit being filed against the company for some tactics and employment things or whatever going on behind the scenes with the company.
Okay. Let's stop right there.
Right.
So, in 2021, I'm not showing you had no rent on here.
Right, because that was the, what would you call that? The recertification
Okay.
of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, so the last time we actually officially knew about what how can I say it, rent invoices was
Now
what
we're
year?
gonna go to 22.
Year 2020 actually?
Yes.
Yes.
2022 is when you start being charged for rent.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah,
2022. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening.
So when
Because you switched the units.
yes, so the only reason why we switched the unit is because after the back and forth with all the emails, speaking with somebody who took over the conversation, Cheryl Rivers, she kept saying, Miss Fontenot, don't worry about your rent. Yes, it's in the emails. Don't worry about your rent. We need to get you moved out that unit 1904 is inhabited.
Yes, ma'am.
I said, what would be the purpose of you relocating to another apartment and then you're gonna try to charge me these outrageous charges, which is what's happening, and then you're gonna try to put me out and play some kind of games. I said, no, why would I leave here knowing that y'all are doing something weird with my rent? No, Ms. Fontenot, you have up until such and such to sign this paperwork. Who was
this email? You travel? You travel?
I can't. I'm in mobile now.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Oh. Yes, ma'am. I caught you.
You do?
I caught
How
you.
long?
Oh, it's been a minute.
Oh yeah?
It's been a minute. Not really. Not like that. Not to that degree yet. Mm-hmm.
You're greeting.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's you.
Yes. And so when that happened, I was just floored through my daughter like, oh my God, I'm sick. I had started falling now. I mean, swelling up, all kinds of things, and just scared for my life because I couldn't breathe in that apartment, everything like that. So I decided, I just heard the Spirit say, you need to just go ahead and move. Just go ahead and move. Don't worry about the rent. So I told my daughter, I said, okay, sign the paper. This document, they sent several documents. One document was to move to a totally different unit. I mean, complex. And I said, that's way on the other side of town. I go to doctors and stuff. I can't be travel. I don't travel like that. So with that being said, that's when I got the document that stated that they wanted us to move in one of these two units of our choice.
I don't want to use them. You can shred that.
No?
No.
Okay.
It's too difficult.
Okay.
They want to
Yeah,
be paid
I
for
see
the
it.
Nexus card and
So now you give it to her?
yeah,
The other one.
me managing both of these properties, that'd be a little bit too much. Listen, this one, I'll put this in for you tomorrow. This one is ready. Here's your POs.
Okay.
This one, I'm waiting on Tammy.
Okay, this one too.
I'm gonna go ahead and approve.
This one?
No, I'm gonna go ahead and approve Royal. But listen, I need for you guys to locate the office, accounting information for all of 2020 and all of 2021.
For the
I
payment?
need for Miss Sharonda's office. I need banking information. Okay, let me show you what it's gonna look like. I had to do this because the day is like getting away from me.
Okay, you take your time.
Let me show you what you're looking for in those boxes. The boxes she's gonna have on them. The boxes should say bank deposit details, and when you open it, you're gonna see stuff like this.
So I'm gonna tell us started with those.
Yes, I need these boxes. It has copies.
For banking. Okay.
Yeah, I need it for both years. All of 2020,
Okay, I'm gonna tell us.
all of 2021.
Okay.
Check the box, make sure ain't no spiders or nothing in there before you bring them up in here.
No, that's right. Yes, indeed.
That's my favorite word. My friend Dad teases me all the time because he say that is my favorite word. Because I always say, yes, indeed. Okay, now I'm back.
Okay. And so, like I said, we didn't hear anything till around it was around March that I'm thinking something gotta be off, something is on. And then around May is when let me back up. I started sending correspondence. I even wrote to the Houston Apartment Association just to try to get other people involved to see this is a big issue. I contacted all the people at HHA who had been tagged on all this, everything that had been going on with me since I moved here. And so due to that is why I felt Cheryl Rivers got involved and stated to us, no, Ms. Fontenot, do not worry about your rent. Unit 1904 is uninhabitable for your health. You cannot be in there. Now, I didn't mention it, but they had a third-party mold inspector to come out that they paid for.
Mold fine.
Yes, they did all of that, and based on, I guess, when they gave the records. Now, Ms. Rivers annoyed me because she claimed she had sent me documentation of this, Ms. Fontenot. You should know it's uninhabitable. I said, what documentation I received from the mold science people? No, ma'am, and you wouldn't do that for legal purposes. I'm not fooled. So they did move us to 2204, which is where I chose, instead of 412 back there on the side over here. So that's why we're in 2204 now. But since that happened, it was Sharonda and Priscilla to initiate everything. And I remember that Priscilla came back to the door and said, Miss Fontenot, okay, we need you to sign this lease. I said, no, ma'am, ain't no documentation been drawn up to make sense about nothing. I'm not signing nothing. Well, showing here that it's $555 is your rate. I said, no, ma'am. I said, that's not making sense what you're saying. I said, I'm not, but in my mind, I'm saying this. I'm not saying it to her because she is just coming back to the property, so she wouldn't really know what's going on unless Sharonda filled her in, which I've had many run-ins with her, so she do know of me. Meaning, like, I would call and be discussing stuff and rudeness and hanging up the phone and all this weird stuff that they was acting like. So I didn't sign the lease, but what I did was go to writing up again that this is wrong, this is incorrect. You guys are saying we owe you, what was it at the time, boo? 4,444?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was like the numbers was in synchronicity.
Yeah,
it was like 444 and then 555 and then 666.
It was like
that was going to be 777.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was doing. I thought that was odd. I said, how is that we got such an even number like that? And they said, well, nobody communicated with us. So my daughter came here to let them know that her unemployment had began again because I've been fighting on the case about that with her. And so that's when Priscilla told her, okay, we'll go ahead and turn it in and Sharonda go blah, blah, blah. Still, we heard nothing.
She gave us zero income documentation.
Yes.
This, all this info.
Which is weird because we've been living here for so long. Why is y'all change? I knew something was going on because they was changing the rules as they go along, like they was scrambling. Here, Ms. Fontenot, so I didn't argue about it because when I did that move and that dizziness and everything I was going, I fell in my house and sliced the side of my thigh. And I told him, I said, I can't come up there. I said, we need both of y'all to sign it. I said, well, like I said, I cannot get out my house and walk up there. My leg is sliced and y'all know what's been going on with my body. I've been giving y'all medical stuff and everything. So that's when we still just didn't hear anything. We still just didn't hear anything at all. And I just didn't understand it. I said, because I told Sharonda, not Sharonda, in the email, I said, if this can be rectified, my daughter is in college. So when she gets her student refund, we can go ahead and pay this and so this won't follow us over. Well, Miss Fontenelle, we still are looking into it, and cause somebody from housing, what was the lady name? You recall? The Tucson came over there and spoke to you, but then it was another lady. It was another lady that wrote me on the email. What was her name? Tamika, Tamara, Tanisha, from the housing authority.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So we really thought, okay, well, they're taking care of it. It's taking time, with the, no worries. And then hear nothing again. And then March came, and that's when I told my daughter I seen it in the vision. I said, something going on. March came, they put the notice on the door for the 6666.
Okay. So, effective 2/1/2022. Let's talk about that.
Okay, yes.
Okay. You were working,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Ashley,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When did you stop working, or are you still working?
So I stopped working at the Sykes job in February of 2022.
When did you start?
I started in July of 2021.
Yes. So that's the
So you started.
Mm-hmm. Because this is what we was always thinking. Because, when Sharonda would say, we only need you to go back 3 months or something like
So,
that.
Alpine
Yes, ma'am.
access?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
So by the time we did the recertification, the recertification in October, I gave her the October paycheck stubs that would have followed on. That would have been the recalculation
Right, based on what
for
she was saying we
2022.
needed. Because usually anything we did had to do with government stuff. They want 4 paycheck stubs.
Yes, that's all. I
And
got all
she
the
would
paycheck
switch
stubs
it
here,
every
too.
time. No, we
Okay.
don't need this. We need that. I didn't
All
get
right, so
it. Mm-hmm.
as of the change,
Mm.
when you moved into, and that was May the 31st, when you finally
2204. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you finally moved in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You had a $555 rent
$555. Mm-hmm.
in the new unit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's where your rent is coming from that hasn't been paid.
Right.
It's from your move-in from 5/31/2022.
That's the way they wrote it up. Remember when you heard me say, when they gave me that lease, I did not sign it. I did not sign it because what is going on with our recertification right here? We didn't move away from the property.
Right.
And then we came back. So that's why I was telling Miss Rivers, we need to rectify this situation at this 1904, because I know what you guys are going to do is pull it together. So now what you're saying makes sense, but there's zero income from up to that last time she got unemployment, when she began and ended in unemployment. There has been zero income, and this is what they never rectified from the word say go.
Well, it's showing zero income up until May 31st, 2022. It's zero. See how did you see? Okay. Here's January 1st. There's no income for anybody except for your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when she was at Alpine.
Right.
But
Okay.
that is for
That is for January 2022. Okay?
mm-hmm. Yes.
December of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
2020?
Yeah.
You jumping all the way back?
Yeah, we jumping. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
That's
You work for Central Home Health.
mm-hmm. In 2020.
Okay? But then eventually you stop.
Right. In
Because
January
there's
2020.
zero income there.
Right.
Because there's zero rent.
Right.
So this is zero, really. Any number in parentheses is a negative.
Uh-huh.
The way that the Houston Housing Authority and HUD have this program set up.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you weren't paying any rent.
Right. For 2020.
And this is what I argued with Sharonda about, because I said my daughter working at Walmart, why we got zero rent? I'm telling
Walmart
you, this has been
was
going-
2019
Hold on, baby. This has
going
been
into
going on since the
2020.
day I signed the lease.
Yes, ma'am.
I was talking to Cindy
Oh
when
my
she came by my
God.
house, and I said, Cindy, can you explain something to me about this 30%? I said, when I first moved in, I was getting $300 in child support, and my unemployment was on hold. I said, when I filled out the paperwork, I told Sharonda, I said, look, my unemployment on hold. Now I'm gonna have to come in here and tell you about the income. No, Miss Fontenelle, because whatever we certify you at right now, that's what we have to certify you at I said, well, how come when I'm getting food stamps, they want to know all my damn business, but every time I tell you stuff, you keep telling me what you don't want to know. I don't understand. So then when she assessed my rent, it was $72. So Cindy sitting in my house, she said, wait a minute, $300 a month at $72? I said, yes, ma'am.
You paying $72 right here.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason you were paying $72 is because of child support.
Yeah, $300. I remember what her dad
So the rent calculation giving you the utility allowance, because we give you a utility allowance. So for your particular unit at the time, it was $81, which only made the rent $72. So how they would have calculated that rent is they would have taken the $6,599.84 divided by 12 and multiplied that rent. There's no deductions. You don't have no deductions, right?
Not at the time.
Yeah,
She was in
not
high
at the
school. And yeah.
Oh, yes, you did.
I
You
got
got a deduction.
which one?
You was in high school?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, high school.
You
Uh-huh.
had the 5.8.
Uh-huh. Oh, I didn't know nothing about the high school
Yeah,
stuff.
we just always knew about being in college.
Yeah.
If she was a full-time student and she was in high school, they gave you a deduction for her. Only way you wouldn't have got a deduction is if she wasn't listed as a full-time student.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she graduated 2015, so we moved in 2012.
She was 18. Okay. Alright, so when you're 18,
When you graduated,
2015.
how old was you?
I had just turned 18. That
Oh, okay.
November.
yeah.
Oh, the
When you're
November
18,
before.
That's the only way
Okay.
you don't get a deduction.
Yeah.
Once you turn 18,
Mhm.
you're considered an adult,
Right.
Yes.
and then you don't even get that 480 no more.
Okay.
Okay.
So that would be the only way.
Uh-huh.
But so when you take the 30% of that income, that's what the rent is based off
Yeah.
of.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll take that figure, that 6,000, like I did, $6,599
Mm-hmm.
divided by 12, multiplied by 30%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that comes to $165
Right.
that your rent would be if it was just a regular 30% property.
Mm-hmm.
But we give you your utility allowance as well.
Okay.
So we will deduct the
That from your
utility
rent.
allowance from what this 30% is saying that your rent is, and then that will be your rent.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So you just answered my question of what I had in my head. So if that's the case, if you're not having any rent due to no income, then you would actually receive a tangible utility allowance, and that's something that I questioned them about, and that
if
never happened.
Yeah, if you qualify for that utility allowance, then you should get the utility
I
allowance.
did not get a utility allowance
If
except
you
for
qualify
once
for it.
this entire time I've lived here, and you've seen it now.
Okay, well, it's been credited on your account.
It's showing that now it's $38 at this present time
Uh-huh.
because they're trying to pay themselves back. But I'm saying previous, there was zero coming in. Zero. Like I'm seeing
Yeah,
over
the
a long
only
time
time
we've been
that-
here.
The only
Yes.
time we did receive it was in 2021.
That's
So
right.
they
It was
did.
what, $29?
It was, I think it was 38.
Okay, no, there was a $29
There's
Okay,
time.
yeah.
45 on here.
I know it 29, 40, but I'm
And
saying it happens
45.
sporadically, and so
Right.
I was complaining about it because I'm like, why is this money coming to me?
Right.
You qualify for it, Ms. Fontenot. I said, well, show me how. Every time I questioned, because I always felt like they was undercutting me. You just said $84. So how is it that in my light bill is $150? What are you talking about?
Right.
Well, it don't have anything to do with your light bill.
No, I'm saying the utility allowance is something I can apply to my light bill. That's
Oh
what
yeah,
I'm saying.
that's
Yeah.
what it's for.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. So for you to apply to whatever utility you want to apply
Yes.
for. but the way the programs are set up through HUD, and then the tax credit part of the program set up through the Internal Revenue Service, those utility allowances and stuff are approved through them, okay?
Right.
So that's the reason why the rents are a certain amount, can't exceed a certain amount, minus
Makes
the
sense.
utility allowance, because with the UA and the rent added together, it cannot exceed this gross amount of rent.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Um,
I just never understood how is that we qualify now. In other words, would be like, well, the government not giving it around, they not giving it this time.
Right.
Then all I'm gonna do, I can take that at face value. I can't argue with the person if that's what they tell me.
Now, I don't see in here where Ms. Rivers said, don't worry about paying your rent.
No. I didn't say she said no.
Oh,
She said
okay.
you need to move. We'll fix that later.
Meaning, yeah, let's take care of it later.
Yeah.
I get that part.
And then she said in there, we'll handle the rent reduction. Oh, you heard me say that. I said that if they got it
So in
rectified,
2021,
it could have already been paid.
Exactly.
okay, so the research was done in 2021, and your rent was $555 based on your daughter Ashley's employment, and your UA was $88.
So, but what was the time frame that they were charging us the rent for? Because again, every recertification, there was nothing explained. What they don't know about me is that I research all these things behind the scenes, so I know how it's supposed to go. And I was asking them, can you show me how you came up with $555? Because at one point in time, my rent was $661, and then it went down to $555. And then gauging what my daughter was making, please show me your calculations. This was always denied of us. Now all of a sudden it's $555, even though she is no longer employed. So then the rents are still being accrued at $555, even though she's no longer employed. We turn in all the paperwork.
So let me ask you a question. Did you turn in a change of income?
Yes, ma'am. I have it right here.
I'm gonna taught you well how to keep these files together.
So you turned it in September the 21st. That you're not even getting no unemployment.
I'm fighting with the people about giving out unemployment. They talking about due to the CARES, this and the stimulus, that, and
It ran out.
no, I'm saying they was trying to. What had happened was she was supposed to get, what's that called? That extra what everybody was getting. What was that name they was calling it? Stimulus and unemployment, something.
Something
With unemployment stimulus,
like
and they hers had accumulated to $5,000, and they removed it. That was so wild. I couldn't believe it.
Okay, so you were dealing with them back in August 18, 2022. Miss Thomas from the Houston Housing Authority.
Duck Thomas, that's the last name. I don't know what the first name is.
Miss Rakisha.
Rakisha, okay. I know some Rakisha.
Said that insufficient documentation was turned in and they couldn't process until sufficient documentation had been turned in.
And how we got sufficient in this file, but they don't have
Because
sufficient.
they didn't tell us anything else about anything need to be submitted.
Well, we know what was happening.
And they also gave us this document right here. Both Tiffany and Sharonda gave us this document. It's a questionnaire for applicants/residents who claim zero or sporadic income. that we filled out. So what other documentation did she need?
Well, you know they have to CYA, so that's what.
Okay, so in this case, okay. So when you come and like you report changes of income.
There was a time I reported a change of income, and Sharonda brought Priscilla in the room. This is very wrong. And she told me, no, we don't do changes of income. Once we put your income in, we don't change it. She didn't know that she was being recorded. I sent that to them. So they know. I'm not that typical type of a tenant that don't, cover stuff to prove what I'm saying, because I felt we was going to get to this point. And then they gave us this form. So I asked them, I said, what is this form? What is this extra stuff y'all doing? Is this everybody getting this? Well, just want to know this is a form you have to fill out if you don't have income.
You got your ACOT? All right. So there was a time when every time a person came in to report a change of income.
You got what this is? The same form? ACOT?
Nah, this is
something different. Okay.
okay. All right. So in 2022. HUD said that, one second. If you reported a change of income, they were only going to start doing these changes every certification. Used to be a time when you could come in that they change it, okay?
That's exactly what Sharonda said.
Okay.
This is correct.
So these are the reasons, okay? So if it's a decrease in income, except for a decrease that lasts less than 30 days or is subject to inputted welfare income rules, HHA will process an interim reduction in tenant rent and tenant paid utilities, okay? If the household income decreases. In between your regular annual recertification or until your next recertification period, recertification, transfer, move to another unit, households are not required to report and document their income increase. So, let's say for instance, she was doing her unemployment thing, the unemployment decreased, then she could come in and they'll do the change.
Right, because it's what.
But if it increased, you had until your next recertification to do it. And this was effective in 2022.
It just became effective 2022?
No, it was effective 2022, 2021. They had changed.
Right.
Okay, when I came back with them, I think it started in 2020.
Okay.
I think it was 2020. I came back September, I think of 2020, and that's why I keep my book, because it's the law.
I know that's right.
Okay, this is HUD. This is the law. Okay, so this is what HUD.
And she did not change the rent. She didn't take our, what you call it, the word interim.
Yes.
She didn't give us the form to fill it out.
And this is also in 2021, so I kept this one too, and it says the same thing. So what I'm saying is that it's in here, the 2021, 2022. My concern is like when you switched units, okay? So when you switch the units, that's when the $555 rent came into play. Where were you working?
We got the $555 rent when we were still in 1904 for like.
Because our income changed.
We never got the what are these forms called? Invoices. They put on the door. We never
within
got
that email.
Statement.
Yes,
ma'am.
we
Within
never
that
got
email,
them.
when my mother emailed Cheryl Brewer, she said, "Oh, okay, here you go." By the time she
It
gave,
was like
she gave us the invoices, it was up to
It
April.
was like a slap in your face, like, oh yeah, we never gave you invoices, but here you go.
Yeah.
The attachments is in the email. And I'm like, where they do that?
And it don't
This
make
is where I'm showing the rent changed. January 1st, 2022.
Exactly.
To
but
555.
but her income came inside of that 2021's research, so therefore we would got our correct rent on December. We'd have
So
been
the fact
paying it,
that we,
and then we
But it
didn't.
didn't go into effect until January. Because your recertification is due in December. And for some reason, if they processed it like late,
Yeah.
they had to give you the 30 days. So that's why it says January 1st, 2022 instead of December the 1st, 2021.
Okay,
Does that
got you
make
on
sense?
that.
Yeah.
Got you on
So it wasn't processed.
that. And so now we both on the same page where you said,
Yes.
what was your income?
So your November,
Gotcha.
they completed the research for you in November,
Gotcha.
okay? But they could not make it effective until January because your rent went up. Does that make sense?
Without us being knowledgeable about any of these things.
Well, without them not being able, I guess, to provide you with 30 days because it was completed on November 16th. This research would have had to have been completed in October the 16th for you to get this rent for December the 1st.
Yes, ma'am. Right.
Okay?
Yeah, you-
But it was not completed until November. So
And
they
then we
did
didn't find out
their
about it
due
until then.
diligence. They did the due
Wow.
diligence
That's flying.
and waited until to make it effective 1/1.
But we didn't know
2022.
nothing about
right,
it.
we didn't
Okay.
get no income
So-
change document or nothing.
Okay, with that being said, that's what your rent was, the 555. Okay?
Okay, we got that
So-
understanding.
Now, moving forward. The rent was $555, effective January the 1st, 20. Let me get this. One of my other properties. Ah, yeah, mama. Hello? Hey?
I should have some mint, peppermint or something.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll just call you when I get home, sweetie. I get home about 5:30. That's great. That's fine. Well, I mean, whatever time, because I leave tomorrow for jurisdiction. Okay. That's fine. Girl, don't play. Girl, don't play with me, girl. Don't play with me. Lady. Okay. I'm in a meeting. I'll see you. Goodbye. Okay. Yes, I have an old iPhone. I refuse to buy a new one. I'm not giving them $1,000 for no phone.
We never switched to iPhone. We
Okay.
still with Android.
This one rings just fine.
Okay.
I get my
Oh, that's
calls
right.
just fine.
Oh, that's right.
My sisters and co-workers and stuff laugh at me because they got these 14s, and I told them, baby, that 6 work real good.
Okay. I know, right?
Ooh, this beat is big and fly. Okay, so what has transpired is you just stood firm. You didn't get it. I ain't finna pay this. There's something going on, okay? Instead of somebody taking the time to do what we're doing here, going through each research, explaining to you what's going on, okay? All we can do now is try to get this paid. Because it ain't gonna go away. That's the sad part.
It's not about it going away, it's about it being corrected, because if Cheryl Rivers stated that we would do your rent reduction response, now we understand everything that transpired, there's no fault of your own, let's get you moved, and that part was not done.
But I don't see in these emails here where she said that she was gonna do a rent reduction. Now I can reach out to her and ask her about that. I mean, but I've even read the notes in here. Nobody put a note on your
maybe
account.
I said it incorrectly. Rent adjustment is the word that you said.
So if, like, any adjustments were due on the account, when they do the recert, there's a button that you push and it'll give you an adjustment in the system. So I see where this recert was completed. Your 2021, it was completed in November. And that's where you got the rent charges. But it didn't charge you until January the 1st. So it didn't charge you anything back in that other apartment or whatever. Because the income that was used for your 2021 research was from Miss Ashley, and that was Alpine Access.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only $25,730 a year that she made.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gave the $555, because they used Miss Ashley's, income, because Miss Ashley is in the household.
Right.
But prior to that, 2020, there was no rent. 2019, there was no rent. 2018.
So here's where we are, Miss Dawn. I realize what they've done, and I understand that. But at the same, because there was times when my daughter was getting income, and Sharonda was very adamant. No, Miss Fontenot, because we give you these exemptions, blah, blah, blah. I say, ma'am, how is this so different from the Department of Human Services? We're going to get a certain amount of food stamps based on whatever the criteria the government set. So how are you telling me she's not? Because this going to come back to hunt us down the road. No, ma'am, Ms. Fontenot, it will not. So I see what they have done. They played some get back. That's understandable, but then where does it put us right now? We just applied for that Texas rent relief that opened up for like 2 days, 3 days.
Did you apply?
Yes, ma'am.
You got a confirmation?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me have a copy. Because this takes, if they're gonna take care of that for you, you won't have no issue.
I know, right? That's what I just said.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
This right here.
You didn't give it to the first time.
Mm-mm.
This is all the paperwork that I have for the folder.
Oh, this is your folder. This is our folder that she keeps.
Yeah,
Okay, you just showing them what's in
Yeah.
our folder. Okay, I got you.
all the income, everything is in
Yeah, she left this folder.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, this
And
one.
I looked at it.
Yes,
So,
that's it.
all this communication, all this stuff, just keep your stuff.
Okay.
Because here, I don't see anything wrong in here. Okay, I don't see any adjustments. All I can say is, I'm sorry that you went through whatever you went through, and it wasn't made clear to you.
Right.
But this is what I do. Okay, even with my property. Okay, if you don't understand something, hey, you come on in, let's sit down.
Right.
You look, I'm gonna show you.
Yes.
Don't have a problem with that.
Exactly.
Never have a problem with showing people how to calculate their rent. I don't have a problem with that because that's how it is.
That's
Everything's
right.
inputted into the system.
Exactly.
So us personally, this stuff is already in there. HUD approved it. Houston Housing Authority is using that software.
Right.
So all we do is collect the data, have it accessible in your file
Right.
for when they come out and they audit. Who is they? HUD. HUD comes, HUD audits these files. That's why it's so meticulous. That
Or
you have to
should
make
be.
sure all the
It should
I's,
have been.
the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. My property, when there's an audit, what file you want? Just tell me what files you want, okay?
I'm not sure why they're getting away with this.
You
so
pick them.
That's what
You
I wanna
pick
know.
the files, and we'll have these files sitting here for you, and they go through them. I just did one thing. The man said, "Oh my God, these are so perfect." But I see one thing, and I said, "Well, sir, what's that?" He said, "Oh, I see where you did an adjustment, but the lease in the file has a different amount on it." I said, "Oh, you know why?" He said, "Why?" I say, because I forgot to put that corrected page of the lease in there, but I have it. She signed it, and I went and got it.
Okay.
And I hole punched it, and I said, here you are.
Okay.
It was just a matter of me filing that
Right.
page.
It was just a human error. But with this, like I said, I see they're playing kickback, and that's what I assume is going to happen. But at the same time, or what my intuition told me, I'm going to say assume, that makes me an ass, and I'm never that. What I'm asking about is why did we never get a lease? Every time we had to go prove where we live, we had to take all
So
our
you don't
invoices.
have a lease now?
We
The
have
only
never
one we
gotten a
have
lease.
is the one that when we first moved in this.
There was
Let
a-
me get set.
There was a lady that was working here named Nicole that we was talking to about that, and then she just ends up getting into it with Sharonda and leaving. We never had a lease.
Okay. Let me make a copy of this. Have you got any updates from
You want us to-
Secretary Release?
No, we
Not
just
yet.
did it. Do you want us to keep this file?
Oh,
You
yeah,
don't
you'll
want to
keep that.
You'll
No,
keep
ma'am.
it? Okay.
Miss Cindy,
Okay.
can you take a look in 2204, see what current lease is in their file, because they never got a lease.
Thank you. She's correct.
We need a current lease.
We have never gotten a lease.
The 23 has not been done yet, and they're December.
We have never gotten a lease. Do you have that form the one that we technically got when we first moved in?
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird how we have to prove our residence. You know, we be using current electricity bills.
Yeah.
And thank God that we never had to deal with that when they was adamant about a lease.
Right.
Here you go.
Mm-hmm. So for that one time for college that they was adamant about.
Here, and this is yours too. Go ahead and keep
Mhm.
that. Keep your stuff. Okay, this is what I need.
Okay, so we did apply for it. You got the confirmation number on it?
It's a confirmation
Okay.
number on it.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing about it is that it does not say that you qualify.
Yeah, I
It just
understand.
says that
It's been applied
that
for.
you did apply for
Yes,
it.
yeah, we know.
Also, you know, with the second chance program that they, you know, sent the paper out and you signed that paper, they're requiring 40% down in order to set up a payment plan. So, what do you want to do?
Well,
We have zero income. She just started a work from home job
yeah.
today. Well, this week. She just started doing
Yeah.
her.
And I
Okay.
have
So
my-
when did you stop working?
That same time frame, 2022.
December
Yeah.
1.
But
Okay,
remember
I
about
have
the
December
unemployment?
1st, 2022.
Yes.
Okay.
The last income was unemployment.
Okay, December. That's the 0. Okay. All right.
And so you see where I keep on saying, like, why was that not done? It should have been done with this particular situation before we even.
So now what you need to do is, since you're working from home, come on, Abel, you need me? Hey, please get this fly out of here. Every time they come in, y'all must be leaving that back door open. Huh? You need me?
No, that's fine.
Did y'all look for them
Yes,
boxes?
I'm looking for the buggy right now.
Okay, alright. So, just, you need to do a change.
Again, even though we did it back then.
There's no work in the system for you right now.
Well, for
No, no,
right
no.
now, because it just
right now.
it just started.
You mean to do a change for what?
That she started working. Right now, there's no jobs on there.
Exactly. That's what we're saying.
we just got the confirmation that it's about to start.
Oh, you haven't started
No,
yet?
ma'am.
No,
Oh,
she
start working.
doing orientation.
Start
Yeah.
working.
All that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
start
have
working
that,
first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She just got the
Yeah.
little welcome thing for insurance in the mail and just
Yeah.
today.
yeah. So what day are you supposed to start?
Friday?
April 3rd.
Yeah, you wait till,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, today. So the conversation we're having is just don't forget to come.
Oh yeah.
Do your change of income. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
When the research, when your recertification, you're gonna have research in December. So you might not even have to, you're gonna come and do it and wait to receive the letter about the SOP saying that they do not, they're not going to change, increase your rent until you do your research.
SOP, what's that?
It's a API.
Oh, that same word you just said earlier.
The
Okay.
ABIUT.
See, words you said I never heard of. Like, what is this? Is that? All I heard was a rent adjustment or a change interim. And we've been doing those, and they have not been
It's an
input in the
interim.
system.
So, like when I had clients to come in and they do a change, and they're coming to report that they're working, I would send them a letter from this ACOP to let them know that there will be no rent change until your recertification.
That makes sense.
And that's if you're still working on that job when you come in to do your recertification with me.
You heard what she said, Ashley?
Okay? So the 2023, I'll have to look to see if it's still the same. Come on.
The last one is 2019.
That we got a lease?
Well, it's
Physical?
not signed. It's not signed. It's just in there.
We didn't even
So
get that.
there's no 2020.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. The last time we actually got a physical lease that we have in our possession was
It's like
2012
2015.
when we first moved in.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
she don't have a 20.
No, she doesn't have nothing
22.
recent.
Would you like a new lease type?
So I can do
It's
it.
gonna, because you're gonna need it for Texas rent relief. It's gonna have to be signed.
I need to pray on this because something is not right in my spirit about this situation. Because they should have did that interim. They should have did all those things. Everything you telling me is precisely exactly the way it was supposed to be done.
Right.
And I understand that they doing a
Proper way.
kickback because there was times that she didn't pay rent. I mean, Ashley wasn't assessed the rent even though she was working. I'm like, what is this? That don't make sense. And so I feel like the 660, whatever, that accumulation of that was from them messing up previous times. Understood. But to put us in a position to say we need to put 40% down and we don't have it. And that's what the whole paperwork proved. We have it on our end. If they didn't put it in the system, how is that our fault? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's why I just didn't actually sign the lease when, what's her name? Priscilla walked it over to my door because I was saying the same thing I'm saying today. And that was in May of 2022, I stated that, and I'm stating it now, and we're almost in another summer, 2023. So that's what I'm saying. I was purposely and maliciously, I felt like it was a retaliation because I spoke about the mold in my house. And I did things that they wouldn't have thought, I guess I had to be dumb or black, that they didn't think I was gonna do. And I actually did do it and get the stuff tested and proved it to them, and that's when they sent out a third-party mold inspector. It don't even make sense. Why would you move me if you gonna try to put me out? That's what I was saying to the Cheryl Rivers. Miss Fontenot, don't worry about that. We gonna do the rent adjustment.
Okay.
That's what she said in the email.
Well, you're gonna need this lease, and the lease is showing you have a negative 38 for rent, meaning you have 0.
The lease says a negative 38 for rent. What do you mean?
That means you're not paying any rent. The rent that you owed was for when you owed that $555 for the months and you didn't pay it. Right now, effective 12/1/2022, your rent is $0. The rent that you owed them for was from January. It was $555. You were paying $555 from.
We never got an invoice.
Yeah.
They never completed it. Why is it that this government institution does it to where you have to get a paper on your door to say what your rent is when nobody else is doing it? You know what your rent is. You go get the money order. You come and pay it. They sign the receipt book, give it to you. A lot of these other companies, you can pay what you call it. It's digital. You do it online.
You do it online.
And so we never received an invoice. So how are we gonna come in here and pay $555 when we don't know what it is? And I'm calling on the phone, and then the young lady, well, Miss Fontenot, are you paying rent? I'm not gonna argue with her because I realize she just in this mess. So when I asked her to speak to Sharonda, hold on a second. You put me on hold. Oh, she's in a meeting right now, Miss Fontenot. Can I get your number? She'll call you back.
Like, I'm not understanding. You
Well, the
just
rent
said-
that's owed is past due rent because right now your rent is 0. Okay.
I understand that's exactly what the EPP was. I understand what you're saying, but what we're saying is that when her income was assessed for this rent, that interim that you're talking about that should have been put in that you just quoted me was never done. So that's not the right rent. That's why I did not sign that paper.
You have this unemployment thing, which would have been your interim, but they're stating that you did not supply sufficient documentation. That's what I just told you. That's what I just read.
You did.
Okay, so that's why the interim for that unemployment is not in there.
And the argument was to them.
So when
how
you-
can we lie about that when that's coming from the Texas Workforce?
When you
Exactly.
received it, well, there's certain documents, even if it's coming from Texas Workforce, you still have to provide appropriate documentation
Which would be
to submit to HUD. Not just
Are
because.
you saying we would come in this office, we would get this appropriate documentation, we fill it out, we give you our pick, because all Shonda always said, we need you, no, this not the one. So we would bring both.
Yes.
Here's the printout that we gonna be able to see. Here's the other thing, which one you want? Okay, this the one I need, Miss Fontenot. I mean, is that why she not here? I'm trying to understand who
Right?
she
Like,
working
I'm
with.
just
I'm
trying
trying to understand who
like,
she working with, because I don't understand. I felt this was gonna happen in my spirit.
yes,
I said it's gonna be looking like we crazy and we're the ones making up all the rules and we're the ones that's making up the forms that we did not
It
fill
ain't
out.
in there because they
It's
said that
wild.
they didn't have appropriate documentation. So, I
And
mean,
we got folders upon folders upon folders upon folders, and I've been keeping documents
here,
of
this is
everything.
you guys' stuff.
This one too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, keep that too.
Okay. So, right now, there's no rent. But the rent that they're wanting to collect is the past due rent that is not paid.
So after you speak with the tenants, aka clients, you have to give them your say so, or give them your input or whatever thing, and it's gonna say the same thing that I've been saying. We have not received the lease from the moment we moved in. I ain't never seen that happen nowhere in my whole life, and I'm about to be 50.
But all I can do is take care of current. So, would you like a lease that shows that you don't pay rent?
Yes, ma'am.
Cindy,
Yes, ma'am.
can you type a current lease for Ms. Fontenot effective
So
today?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's gonna be effective today, and it's gonna end November
2023.
this year, 23.
Okay.
Okay.
So
That
what
question
you're
just jumped out my
saying
head. I
is
was fixing to ask her.
the rent that is saying that is owed is for what
Oh,
year?
that's the question. Thank you for.
Well, no,
Johnny.
actually, Cindy, make her lease effective 12/1/2022 to show what's in a lease, but she'll sign it today. So, but it's still gonna end the same time that it, that it's supposed to. Because her rent change was effective 12/1, so that lease needs to be effective 12/1/2022, and it needs to end November the 30th, 2023. Okay?
So when I was able to send something to rent relief, I was able to only send that document that came in March, the invoice. That's what I was able to send them. So
Well, they reach out to the landlords
yes,
and they ask for your ledger
yes,
and they ask for a copy of a signed lease. If
okay,
the lease is not signed, they won't accept it.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in regards to the 6660, which is actually 6546, I think, because the little $38 they took off that's the one that is lingering. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're in here to talk about, the 6546.
Well, yeah, we're in here to talk about the balance of
Yes, the 6546.
And that balance that they're showing that you owe is $6,546, and that rent is for that January till June. So for 6 months, your rent was $555, and you weren't paying it.
Because we didn't get the invoices. They didn't have nothing to get.
And I don't understand why they weren't giving you yours, because they hand deliver them. They put them on the doors.
We want to know what they got against us too. That's what we've been asking. And that's why if you look through
That's
emails,
right.
you don't see so much correspondence because, you want to ignore me when I call on the phone or when I come in. Well, let's see if I can start writing people that are above you, ahead over you, to know what's going on in this office. I didn't understand it either.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you will see in the documentation that I contacted the Houston, Houston Apartment Association, saying I had not received my invoices
Not
from
even
Lincoln Park
that.
Apartments.
How has Sharonda been working here for all these years? And if Cindy just sitting here said that she only got certain leases on us, How is it the case that this girl been in this office since the time we moved in?
Well, she works with somebody else. Come on now.
I mean, that's just obvious.
She working
But
with
they-
somebody, but I don't understand why we were a target. Because I'm not that type of tenant that's trying to be in here not to pay, but life ain't free. So I've been asking about that because I'm like, look, y'all know how my households are set up. And so therefore we can pay it off and it's off. We don't want to have no issues. And this is probably why when me and my daughter were trying to move out due to the mold, places was turning us down. And that's when I was like, you know what? They must be telling that we have a past due balance. Somebody in this office is answering the phone and telling them we have a past due
Well,
balance.
they don't do it like that. What happens is they'll send over a rental verification, and if you sign a release and consent form, they fill in the information based on the questions that they're asking.
And let me ask you this, Ms. Dunn. So then when they give you that phone number to call, because what had happened was they gave me a phone number at the apartment complex telling me to call this number to find out why I was denied. And nobody ever answers the phone to me. We use a third party. You'd have to call this number and they'll tell you. I'm like, I've never seen that before in my life. They would always let you know. It's showing here you have a previous balance with said, complex, and you would need to take care of that balance. So I thought it was a little game being played because this apartment complex was also mandated by this HUD. What's that word it's called? Income restricted? Yes.
Yeah.
And this is how we learned about the 30%, how everything was supposed to work. So that's how I know Ms. Dunn know her stuff because everything she's spoke to me, I already read it.
Right.
She know her stuff.
I'm not disregarding anything that she's saying. I'm just trying to figure out how.
I know your mind is blown, but my mind been blown ever since it started. You have to understand, since day one. When I kept saying my daughter is working, Sharonda, this is not correct. Is there somebody I can call and talk to? No, ma'am, there is no one. You speak to me. You speak to me, and then I go through the compliance. I said, well, who's compliance? I said, because some kind of way this is going to come back on me and my daughter. And look, it is here. My intuition don't ever lie to me. You understand what I'm saying? And I said, no, we need to correct this now, Miss Rivers, because by the time we do, I understand what you're saying. By the time we relocate, I know my daughter's fixing to get another disbursement from school, and we'll pay it off. I don't want nothing on my name, because when I leave out Lincoln Park, don't try to hold me back. What my God got for me, you don't put no numbers down talking about I still owe nothing. No, my debt is clear, free and clear. So that's why I'm upset, because I'm like, why was y'all consistently just ignoring everything I was saying to try to handle the situation?
Hold on 1 minute. She gonna type that lease. I need to make this call, okay?
Okay, man. Get some water. Y'all got water here? Anyway, like some water. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that water fountain is out there. I think they got a water fountain out there. Let me see.
I think they probably like stopped it due to the COVID stuff.
Oh, the
Yeah.
water fountain. You don't have to drink out of it if you don't feel comfortable. I drink warm water, so mine sits out there.
Just need some water.
Hey, this is John
Tell me to
Robinson
bring some
at Lincoln Park.
My throat hurts.
And hey, how's it going? Okay, so listen, I have the bid for the seasonal flower change. It was approved by Miss Tammy. So what do you need me to do? Just scan it over or give you a PO number? What do you need?
Hey, mama, I'll get that dry. It's like a dry.
Okay.
Snatch my throat hot dry.
Yeah, because, totally, I want to make a blend of different flowers, not just one type. I need to call Sam. Okay. All right. Yeah. Hold on. I don't want to write it on this. Here. I'll just write it on this. What is it? Don't go nowhere. Can you get her water? 281
You
what?
want one, Tasha?
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
Room temperature's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll try.
Alright, thanks. I have you time to do more than one thing at one time.
That's fine. That's good. That's a woman on a mission.
Girl, I be on with him.
Okay.
I be so tired, I'm not gonna
They-
hold myself.
they-
My husband, oh, don't talk to me.
Right.
You just have to talk. If you just have to talk, can you just hurry up and just talk later? So my mind is blown.
Right.
I'm tired.
Okay.
I tell the dog to no barking. That's what I hear, no barking.
Yeah.
Baby girl, put this in her file. This is where she applied for it.
Okay.
But I also want to tell you that Catholic Charities, you might want to try the Catholic Charities. Because they've been, calling to help people with big balances too. Cindy, do you have any information, like a phone number or something for them people?
Let me look at my email.
I know how to look them up.
You don't want this phone number for direct contact?
Oh, you got the direct one, not the one.
Yeah, now if you want to go through the loop-de-loop,
Oh no!
up to
No. I thought you were saying yeah.
you.
I didn't know if Miss Cindy was busy or not.
Okay. Here's your lease contract. Y'all can flip. You know where the initial. Let me make a phone call to my boss real quick. Well, actually, whoa. I'm about to break through the rags. Oh, I know what I was talking about. Let me call him real quick.
Okay, so
I was calling because
yeah, that's what's so weird that everything that they got applied it to that.
Do you have a contact for Catholic Charities?
The only one I had was the one she said this something about a direct number. That's what she was saying.
Girl, I'm looking at update, and I don't think you can just email update, because that's just like once you have your stuff in already. So
Oh, okay. Because I mean, you know how you have a list that you'll have with different charities and stuff. I got that.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I have that, but she was saying it's a direct number. I like Miss Dawn. She know what's good. I like that.
She be real.
Mm-hmm. But she understands what I'm saying. She see exactly what I'm saying. Like, because she telling me how it should have been done.
Yeah. And she knows too, she's been coming across a lot of things, and unfortunately, like some of the stuff is just out of her hand because she wasn't here.
Yeah.
But she still she's still gonna try to help you.
Yeah.
And speak for you, and
like I said, that time my dad was working at Walmart, it was getting we was the next recertification. She said no rent because it's gonna be the time when you see 661 in our records, and then the next interim or the next recertification was zero.
something different.
Yes, and that was incorrect. So when I was saying that that's a kickback, meaning like they're just doing a circle back around and getting what was not yours. That's how I'm looking at it, and that's fine. But we don't have it. We don't have it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here if we had it like that. Okay, so this is what it said in utility. See, no, we don't even, the thing that we got when we first moved in was not even looking like this.
Yeah.
This is a real lease.
Right.
We had 2 sheets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, got nothing further.
So I'm gonna give you the number for the San Felipe. I don't know if y'all have that one.
I don't.
I think that's gonna be the one that's closest. Let me get a blank paper. And see, the thing with Shonda is like, as soon as someone says something that she wasn't okay with, it was like the conversation's over. And it's like, what?
That's exactly how she was.
You can't be like that because people still need to get their stuff done.
I believe that's probably why she never had us in here.
No, I came here that one time and she had brought Priscilla in here like she was scared of me. Like I was a threat or something. I guess the witness of.
You were gonna beat her up.
It was weird. She
Nah,
always did that. She would come to my door with a witness with Priscilla all the time. But it was weird. Like, why are
She
you doing
the
that?
type you don't necessarily need to put the hands on. trying to figure out.
So utilities are furnished, water is furnished, you furnish your electricity, refrigerator, stove, and this other like AC. It's crazy, like I've never seen anything like this in my life happening with the government.
And I think ma'am too.
So these late fees are $15. I see that. Oh, she said additional. I was flipping and reading.
Oh.
We get back.
At the bottom.
Okay, so let's see. So right here it's saying monthly fee.
Right here.
You busy?
Give me
Why does
one
it say
second.
$38?
I know I'm trying to find the
That's weird.
show.
What is this?
That's the utility amount.
Right, but then the words say monthly rent, not utility allowance.
Right.
So that's why I knew it was reading why I hadn't signed an issue. How it says here monthly rent is $38.
So it's when it's in parentheses, that means it's a credit.
Okay.
So you don't pay anything.
Okay, got you.
So when it's regular like this, that's because it was something that
Wait, a security deposit.
yeah, your security deposit was $150.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct.
So if it's in parentheses. then-
Yeah, it's always a credit.
You come tomorrow, that's fine. No problem.
I'm gonna write you two here that for sure help. Catholic Charities is gonna be your best bet to call them first, and then MAM Memorial Assistance Ministries, they also do help as well. And since you have that Baker Ripley already,
Yes, ma'am.
then you know with them you just have to girl, I applied for Baker Ripley too.
You did?
Yeah, cause I got one more month at this place, and I'm moving somewhere else, but it's like the same month, and I'm like, man, I pay two places at one time. So call these two places. First, Catholic Charities, and then this one.
So
This one you're gonna have to keep calling until you get a hold of someone. Once you get a hold of someone, you're in the door.
Okay.
So here's the thing. It's saying that the utility allowance will be 88. And then remember on my invoice where it said negative 38? Well, the 38 times 3, I think they had accumulated for 3 months. And then they took that off the 6666. That's what made it 546. So how would this? I'm not understanding what's the $50 difference.
Gotcha. So initially your rent was, let me see.
Because in other words, it went up. You see what I'm saying? To 88.
No, let me give you the breakdown. So if it's negative 38 plus 88. So your rent was initially $50, right? $50 that you would have to pay out of pocket. So then whenever we add the utility, we subtract it from what your rent calculation is. So we subtract 88, and then that leads you to the negative $38.
Oh, I get it.
That's how it works. And then whenever you have a negative, I know that you're supposed to receive a utility check in the mail.
Yeah, but because remember I just explained it's being applied.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So that's how that works.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you good?
All right. So I give him the assistance.
He's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, sweetie. So what you gave him?
The Catholic Church.
Yes.
And then,
Assistance.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you.
you're welcome.
It just needs a head of the household
Baby,
signature.
he got to go. No, she has to sign initial
Oh,
too.
oh,
Okay.
this
Yeah, she initial
okay.
up under you.
Oh, okay. You want to give her a pen? Get right to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the stack and then you.
Yeah.
You feel me? Okay. Ooh. do it. You say let's show you how to do it because we always mess up. You want to do it directly underneath?
Yes.
Okay, directly
Should do
underneath.
it underneath. No, that's not where I'm trying to go with that. I don't want to sign in there. I want to go here.
Is that the same?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just put this over there because you're doing the first piece.
Yeah.
But they better. I mean, take 2 sips of water and I got a piece. Okay.
Girl, I be trying a whole lot.
Don't do
Till
that.
the last minute. But I be thirsty and I say I gotta stop that. Cause I don't be wanting to get up and go to the restroom because I just be so busy.
I'm gotta go see the fraudulent now because they think it's lupus.
My allergies are just kicking me. They kick
Yeah,
me.
say it's gonna be high
They
pollen
thinking
right
that
now.
this
The
lupus
pollen
something
is too
affecting
high.
my kidneys. So you
Cause
get
I just had shots. So I know I'm good on that part.
Hey, you have your driver's license, insurance, and registration?
I just cannot believe.
What's your car again?
You know, it's kind of, you know, like I understand what, you know what I mean? I understand a lot of people a lot more than they think I do. Because I'm a consumer too.
right.
It may not be exactly what you're going through, but I just had an incident where I went to Macy's. And I knew my sister and I had went shopping. And
That was good.
bought some things back in October of 22, this 23 and 22. That was the last time I had used the card. So, in my mind, I done paid the statement. I done paid it off, you know. Ain't nothing coming in the mail.
Right.
You know? How am I gonna pay you something? I'm like you and I didn't receive it. So I went in Macy's Sunday with my sister. And they had a little sale and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna get these little canvas shoes. I'm going out of town this weekend to my jurisdiction meeting. And, you know, we're gonna be walking on the river walk. So yeah, I'm gonna be kids.
Exactly.
Get these little red shoes here. Little tennis. I get it in my car. The lady said something wrong. I said, excuse me.
Right.
She said something wrong. I said, what do you mean there's something wrong? I said, you can do that again. But no, it ain't nothing wrong, you know.
Right.
She was like, well, ma'am, she said they're declining the card. So I say, no problem. I'm going to let that pop. Here you go. Pay for my stuff.
Right.
So it's kind of bothering me. And I'm like, well, ma'am, why is it saying that on now? She said, I don't know. You'll have to call customer
Real
service.
number.
I said, okay, no problem. So I go home. And I call them after I think about it again. So it's closed. I gotta wait till Monday.
Right.
So I call on the phone and the lady tell me, well, ma'am, you have a balance on the card? And I went, excuse me? I said, I have a balance. She said, yeah, it's like 5 months past due. I hit the ceiling. I told her, ma'am, give me 1 second. Let me gather my attitude.
Right. Yes.
Okay, I told her, I said, ma'am, I said, hold on a minute, let me gather my attitude, ma'am. I said, okay.
Right.
Could you repeat that? And I told her no. I haven't received the statement. So how am I 5 months? I said, really? I said, you're really gonna sit and tell me that I'm 5 months past due? I ain't received a statement. I didn't get a phone call. I
Right,
didn't
or
get an
email
email.
or something.
I said, are you kidding me?
Usually they send
I said,
an
and I've been
email.
a card holder since 2010. I ain't never been late. Ain't never involved no balance with you. I always paid you. I said, what? And the termination is going on. Well, let me verify your address. Well, wait a minute. It do say right here that we get mail back. Well, ma'am, maybe you need to check your post office. I said, ma'am. I said, you can't see my neck rolling. I said, but my neck is rolling, ma'am. I said, it's taking everything I have for me to hold my composure right now.
Hold you mute.
I say, you're not going to feed me that line of crap. First of all, I'm not going to no post office. Because Cause you're the first creditor to tell me that you didn't get my stuff back. I said, now let me tell you something. This what you gonna do. You gonna put in these notes that I'm very irate. I want them interest charges removed and every last one of them late fees that you have put on my account. And I'm getting ready to pay you what I charged on your card that you didn't even send me a bill for.
Exactly.
I said, now y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Right. Exactly.
I said, you really should. I said, and I hope this is being recorded.
I know that's
Well,
right.
you tell your vice president, your CEO, that they need to invest in a better system to ensure that customers are being billed for what they owe.
Exactly.
I said, because I'm not the girl to resolve no balance.
I know that's right.
I said, if you think I'm going to pay you some interest and some late charges on something that I didn't get,
Exactly.
you know, when I'm going to send you all the past statements, no, you should have sent them statements the first time I used that card. I told her, don't
You
try
want me
to
to accumulate
insult
some more
my
papers in
intelligence.
my house?
I said, don't you dare
I do papers all day. I don't
try
want
to
that in my
insult
house.
my intelligence.
Oh,
I
yes.
said, now are you done?
What's your zodiac? Libra.
I'm Pisces.
Pisces. Ooh, Saturn Pisces right now.
Baby, either which way, how you want me to be? How you want me to go? Okay, that's me.
Okay.
Yeah, but I tell people, baby, I don't have time for that tomfoolery. I don't deal with tomfoolery.
That's what I'm saying. So you completely understood everything I was saying.
I understood exactly what you're saying. But what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, I be like, you know what? It's just like with them. They don't take that off of there. I'm gonna show them that and I can tell them. It probably ain't gonna make them no difference. But by the time I get to counseling my credit card and give them this wonderful review,
Right. That's
they'll
exactly how I feel.
Yeah, that's just how it's going.
That's what I was telling. I was like, let's get this corrected so we can already have this paid. We don't want to go into the new year with no debts or nothing like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
We
fighting for
not
my
even
disability and
talking
stuff.
about it.
You don't
All
want
kind of
that.
things going on for me that's going to be coming in, but don't hold nothing over my head.
Just, you know, that's what I try to tell my husband. Well, I'm gonna owe somebody when I'm dead. I say, well, if I can help it, it won't be too many people.
Okay.
You take care of your business.
All
That's what I
right.
tell him.
Uh-huh.
I told him, my name is nothing with you, but you don't take care of your business.
Okay.
You procrastinate. Some people say that you owe them this amount of money, but they say you can pay them this amount of money is your monthly minimum. If you think it's okay to pay that monthly minimum,
You don't pay
I
it
told
off.
them, keep playing with it. Keep playing with it if you want to. Okay, so right here where it says, number 4, income-based rent, you initial, she initial on the side here.
Okay.
Yeah, girl, I be like, just get it done and get it over with.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. Going through health issues and everything like that. Let's get it taken care of.
And somebody should have just broke it down and explained it.
And got the paperwork together and got it together, you know?
You know, it could have eliminated a whole bunch of
Mm-hmm.
headaches. Because I done inherited a whole bunch since I became here.
I know you have. Bless your blood pressure. I know, me too. And you ain't even drink that much.
I know, because I couldn't, because it was like at the tip.
I gotta stand up to my legs one day. I feel like she's talking about spiritually, but I'm not
wanted
sure.
them to be crispy. I wanted them to be crispy, dog. No, that's like where you have to do it, baby. We don't do it we do it with the crispy dollars. Okay. I thought maybe you were a star.
Sarcy? A gypsy.
we use headers like that sometimes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so when I saw it, I was like,
Yeah, I'm not.
but maybe I should have just shook your hand.
And then I would have known.
Yeah, I would have known.
Yeah, exactly. And I would have known too, because I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the terminology when you said stop.
And you still.
Okay. We'll keep it a secret. You got it? Come on, baby.
All right.
Baby.
Nice meeting
You
you.
too.
All right.